Here's the twist nobody tells you. About half the games on this list are already sitting in PS Plus right now. Free! So before you spend $70 on anything, watch this. 20 PS5 games that genuinely earn full price. And the ones you should never pay full price for. Okay, let's start with the cheapest game on this entire list. And honestly, the one that makes every $70 blockbuster look a little silly. Balatro, $15, 15, made by one guy who won't even tell us his real name. He just goes by local thunk. Here's the deal. You play poker hands, except the rules are broken on purpose. You collect little joker cards that do ridiculous things. Multiply your score, turn every heart into gold, snap the math completely in half, and then you're sitting there at 2 in the morning going, one more run? Nobody's gambling here, by the way. No real money anywhere. It's just numbers going up and up. And whoopee, so is $15 full money? No, that's the joke. But look at what $15 bought you. A 90 on Metacritic, Best Independent Game at the Game Awards, Game of the Year from actual game developers, over 5 million copies sold, and zero microtransactions, no battle pass, no cosmetic shop, no buy more jokers for $4.99. Those extra joker packs, free updates just given to you. Oh, and Sony handed this out to every single PS Plus member back in May of 2025. So check your library before you spend anything. You might already own it. 7 hours to finish, 250 if you want everything from a card game. Think about that for a second. Now this one's gorgeous, and this one is also where I have to be the annoying guy. Horizon Forbidden West. February 2022. Robot dinosaurs, a red-haired hero named Aloy, and some of the prettiest scenery your PS5 will ever put on a screen. Underwater cities, giant machine snakes, a sunset over a ruined San Francisco that genuinely looks fake the first time you see it. It's a proper big adventure. 40 hours easy, more if you go chasing every last collectible. But here's my problem with sticking it on a worth full money list. It doesn't cost full money anymore. Hasn't for years. The complete edition, that's the whole game plus the Burning Shores expansion, sits at $60 on paper and then drops to $20 on sale again and again and again. $20 for all of that. And one thing loads of people get wrong, this is not on PS Plus. It was. Sony yanked it out of the extra catalog back in September of 2024 and it has not come back. So if somebody tells you just grab it on Plus, they're about 2 years behind. Would I pay $70 for this today? Absolutely not. Would I pay $20 in a heartbeat? That's not an insult to the game. That's just what patience gets you. Aloy deserves better than a full price sticker in 2026. She deserves you actually playing her game for the price of a pizza. Right? Rift apart. And I need you to understand why this one mattered. Because it's easy to miss now. June 2021. The PS5 was brand new and everyone was arguing about whether it was actually any different from a PS4. Then Insomniac dropped this thing. You're running around as Ratchet, a space cat with a wrench, and mid-jump the world wraps open and you fall straight into a completely different planet. No loading screen, no elevator, no squeezing through a crack in a wall while the game quietly loads behind your back. Instant, that was the console's actual superpower, and this was the game that proved it. It still looks unbelievable. The guns are gloriously stupid. One of them turns enemies into shrubs, and there's a new hero called Rivet who is, in my opinion, better than Ratchet, and I will not be taking questions on that. So why only number 18? 2 reasons. 1. It's short. 12 to 15 hours and the credits roll. 2. It's been sitting in the PS Plus extra catalog since May of 2023. If you pay for extra, this is already yours. Go download it right now. I'll wait. Paying $70 for it in 2026 would be a bit daft. Let's be honest. But if you've never seen it, you're missing the single best that's what next gen means moment on the whole machine. Short, sharp, 0 microtransactions, that still counts for something. Returnal, April 2021, and this is the one that makes your controller feel genuinely alive. You play an astronaut called Selene. She crashes on an alien planet, she dies, and then she wakes up at the crash site Again, same crash, over and over like a nightmare on repeat. And every time you start again, the planet has rearranged itself. New rooms, new guns, new things that want you dead. The DualSense work here is still the best on the console, full stop. Green taps on your hands. The triggers have two stages, half press to aim carefully, full press for the big nasty shot. And you can feel the click in the middle of the pool. 5 years on, nobody stopped it. Nobody. Now the cynical bit. This game is brutally, unfairly hard. Not tricky, hard. You will lose an hour of progress in 10 seconds and want to launch something across the room. And here's the pricing scandal nobody talks about. Returnal still lists at $69.99 on the PlayStation Store. In 2026, full price for that? No, absolutely not. But it's in the PS Plus Extra catalog and it has been for ages. So the honest advice is simple. Don't buy it, subscribe, download and find out if it's for you. Housemarque even patched in a free co-op mode years after launch. They didn't have to do that. Brilliant game. Ridiculous price tag, play it the smart way. Silent Hill 2, the remake, October 8, 2024. And I owe Bloober team an apology. Look, nobody thought this would work. This studio's earlier games were fine, okay, forgettable. And then they got handed one of the most respected horror games ever made and told, here, redo it. That's like handing someone your grandmother's recipe and going, improve it. Usually, total disaster. They nailed it. A man named James walks into a foggy little town looking for someone he's lost. And the town starts showing him things it really shouldn't. And that fog isn't just for looks. It's hiding whatever's 10 feet in front of you. But the real weapon is the sound. You'll hear something scraping against metal in the dark long before you ever see it. And your own brain fills in the rest. That's proper horror, not jump scares, dread. Fair warning, and I mean this, it's genuinely frightening. If you're young or you spook easily, watch somebody else play it first. The value argument did take a hit though. In October of 2025, it joined the PS Plus Extra catalog. So a big chunk of you already have access and don't even know it. Roughly 15 hours, no microtransactions, no live service nonsense, no season pass. Just a horror game confident enough to stay quiet and let you scare yourself. Alan Wake 2, October 27, 2023, and Remedy did something here that I still respect nearly 3 years later. Every other publisher was busy shoving prices up to $70. Remedy said no, 60, and they actually explained why. They skipped making a disc version and they passed that saving on to you instead of spending it on a nicer box. Now, in fairness, a physical deluxe edition did quietly show up in October 2024. But that $60 price, it held. The game itself is a lot. 2 heroes, 2 separate stories, and you flip between them whenever you feel like it. An FBI agent digging into murders in a rainy little town, and a writer trapped somewhere dark where whatever he writes starts coming true. It's strange, it's properly creepy, and the lighting is unreal. This is still one of the best looking things on the machine. Fair warning, real horror, older players only. And yes, the story is confusing, deliberately confusing. If that annoys you, walk away now. But here's the value bomb. In October of 2025, Sony gave Alan Wake 2 away as a free PS Plus monthly game. Every tier, even the cheapest one. So if you had any PS Plus subscription last October, go and check your library right now. Remedy also added a new Game Plus mode for free months later. Didn't charge a penny. Lies of P September 19, 2023, a Souls game about Pinocchio. I know, I laughed too. Then I played it and I stopped laughing very quickly. This is the best Souls-like made by anybody who isn't from software. And honestly, it isn't close. You're a puppet in a beautiful, rotting city called Krat, where every other puppet has turned violent and you fight your way through with a sword arm you build yourself. And I mean build. You can snap 2 weapons in half and bolt the pieces together into something new. That one system is better than most entire games. It's hard, it's fair, the bosses are magnificent, and the music genuinely haunting. Now the honest maths, because loads of lists get this wrong. The base game is $60. The Overture expansion landed on June 6th, 2025. and that's another 30. So the full thing is $90. Not 60. Overcharge a prequel, roughly 10 to 20 hours depending how good you are. It's big. It does not double the game, whatever you've been told. But here's what I like. Alongside that paid expansion, the developers dropped a free update, 2 easier difficulty settings and 2 boss rush modes. Free for everyone, including people who never bought a thing. $60 for the base game is honest money. Just know the expansion is separate. Demon's Souls, November 12th, 2020. Launch day, and this one makes me a little sad now. When the PS5 arrived, this was the game. From Software made the original back in 2009 on PS3, and a studio called Bluepoint rebuilt it from absolutely nothing. Every rock, every suit of armor, every flickering torch redone, and the loading times gone. In the old version, dying meant staring at a black screen for 40 seconds to think about what you've done. Here, you're back in the fight before you've even finished being annoyed. It's brutal. You die, you drop your souls, you go back for them, and you die again on the way. Classic. It's shorter than most From Software games, 20, maybe 30 hours. And honestly, good. Not everything needs to be 100. 2 things nobody tells you. 1. The price. It's still listed at $69.99. 6 years on, it falls to about $29 in the big sales, and that is its lowest price ever. So don't panic buy, wait and check the PS Plus extra catalog first because it's been sitting in there. And 2, Sony shut Bluepoint down in March 2026, 70 people gone. The studio that built this got closed after Sony cancelled the live service God of War it had been shoved onto instead. Play it, just don't pay $70 for it. Spider-Man 2, October 20th, 2023. And I need to be careful here because I like this game. I just don't like the price. Swinging through New York is still the best movement in any video game. Full stop. Now you've got web wings so you can throw yourself off a skyscraper and glide across the river. You swap between Peter and Miles whenever you fancy it. Venom shows up and he is terrifying. It's sleek, it's fast, it never stutters, and it's gorgeous. But it's short. 16 to 20 hours if you are doing side stuff. For $70, and it plays it so safe. If you finished the first Spider-Man, you already know the rhythm of this one. Same song, just louder. Here's what actually matters in 2026 though. In February of this year, Spider-Man 2 landed in the PS Plus Extra catalog. So if you pay for extra, stop watching, go download it, come back, and if you don't, it drops to about $29 in the big PlayStation sales, and those come around constantly. Credit where it's due though, Insomniac never sold you a story expansion. There's no shop, no currency, and they were still patching in free suits this summer, nearly 3 years on. New Game Plus was free too. Although, let's be honest, it should have shipped with it. 18 million copies sold. Brilliant game, thin portion, $29 absolutely, 70? No. Stellar Blade, April 26th, 2024. Made by Shift Up, a Korean studio nobody had big expectations for. Then the players spoke. Here's the odd part. Critics gave it an 82. Good. Not amazing. Players gave it a 9.2 on Metacritic, the highest user score any PS5 game had managed. Higher than Baldur's Gate 3. Higher than Elden Ring. Now be careful with user scores. People pile onto those things for reasons that have nothing to do with the game. But a gap that big between critics and players, that's worth paying attention to. The combat is why. Parrying in this game feels unbelievable. It's all timing, all rhythm, and when it clicks, you look like an absolute legend. And the soundtrack is one of the best of the whole generation. No exaggeration. The story is weak. Sci-fi waffle you'll have forgotten by Tuesday. That's fine. You're here to fight. On value, let me correct the internet. The outfits in the game, over 100 of them, are unlocked by playing. No shop, no coins, no nonsense. The director promised that before launch and he kept his word. The one exception is the 2 crossover packs, Nier, Automata and Nike. And those are paid, optional, but paid. That's the honest version. No live service, no season pass. It respects your wallet and that's rarer than it should be. Death Stranding 2, June 26th, 2025. And let me say the quiet part first. This is a game about being a delivery driver. I'm serious. You carry boxes across a broken world. You balance them. You wade through rivers. You build roads and bridges that other players get to use. Written down, that sounds like the most boring thing ever made. In practice, it's hypnotic. And Hideo Kojima is the only human alive who could pull that off. Technically, it's absurd. This might be the single best running big game on the PS5. 60 frames, rock solid, gorgeous, barely any loading. When people argue about which game really shows off the console, this is the answer nobody expects. Two catches. One, you genuinely need to have played the first game. Skip it and the story is complete gibberish. Although in fairness, it's also gibberish to people who played it. Two, is Kojima. The cutscenes are long, very long. If you fidget, you will suffer. But here's why it's on this list. You buy it once. The first Death Stranding pulled the classic move, pay again for the director's cut with all the good stuff in it. This time, in March 2026, they patched in a new difficulty mode, replayable boss fights and cutscenes that got cut from launch. All free. For people who'd already paid, that's the standard. Ghost of Yotei, October 2nd, 2025. And this is where I get to save you actual money, so listen up. First, the game. You play Atsu hunting 6 people who destroyed her family in the frozen north of Japan. And the combat is the best this series has ever had. You swap weapons depending on what your enemy is holding, so every fight becomes a little puzzle you solve with a sword. Snow, wind, it looks spectacular. It won Adventure Game of the Year at the DICE Awards. Is it formulaic? Yes, completely. If you've played Ghost of Tsushima, you know the rhythm. Go to marker, do the thing, cutscene. It reinvents nothing, but Sucker Punch have been good to the people who bought it. In March 2026, they dropped Legends, a full online co-op mode, free to everyone who owned the game. Free. No season pass, just here you go. Now the advice, on October 1st, 2026, a complete edition arrives. Same $70, but it includes a brand new story expansion called Echoes of Sekigahara plus a survival mode. Same price, more game. So do not buy the standard edition today. Wait a few weeks. And if you already own it, the upgrade is $15, which is fair. Patience costs nothing. And it works. Nioh 3, February 6, 2026, brand new, still $70. And it's the one game here where I'd say, yeah, go on, pay it. Here's why. Nioh has always been for people who found Souls games too slow. This is fast, ridiculously fast, and in this one you switch between two fighting styles mid-combo. Samurai, which is heavy and grounded, and Ninja, which is quick and slippery. It takes a few hours to click in your brain, and then it becomes the best combat system on the console. Critics agreed, 86 on Metacritic, 88 on OpenCritic, 94% of reviewers recommended it. Over 1 million copies sold in weeks. And it's a PS5 console exclusive, which is getting rarer every year. Now let me be fair about the flaws, because people did get burned. The engine looks its age, and some PS5 Pro owners say it's soft and blurry. The story is absolute nonsense, and the open areas hand you the same few tasks over and over and over. If you want a gorgeous world to wander through, look elsewhere. But the amount of game here is enormous. Most players are still going at 100 hours. There's 2-player co-op if you want company, and there's no shop, no currency, no season pass. $70, hundreds of hours, nobody asking for more money, fine by me. Kingdom Come, Deliverance 2, February 4th, 2025, and this game is basically the entire point of this video. While everyone else shoved prices up to $70. Warhorse, a studio from the Czech Republic, not some giant publisher, launched at $60. Over 100 hours of game, 0 microtransactions, and it actually worked on day one, which in 2025 was close to a miracle. You play Henry, a blacksmith's son in 15th century Bohemia, and this game refuses to treat you like a hero. You start out terrible at everything, you swing a sword like you're sweeping a floor, you get lost because there's no glowing arrow babysitting you. And then, 40 hours later, you notice you've actually learned how to fight, how to talk your way out of trouble, how to survive. Almost nothing else does that anymore. 2 million copies in 2 weeks, around 89 on OpenCritic, 95% of critics recommending it, and all 3 expansions have shipped since. No broken promises. Now here's the update, and it's a big one. On August 18th, 2026, days ago, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 joined the PS Plus Extra Catalog. US and UK, it's rolling out the 25th. So the one game I'd most cheerfully tell you to pay full price for, you might not have to pay for at all. Bad for my argument, great for your wallet, go check. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, February 29, 2024. The most game for your money on this entire list, with one enormous asterisk. The main story runs about 40 hours. Do everything, every side quest, every minigame, every chocobo race, and you're well past 100. And the minigames aren't padding. There's a card game buried in here called Queen's Blood that is better than most card games sold on their own. People have lost entire weekends to it and forgotten there was a story. It's beautiful. The combat is fast and clever. The music is extraordinary. No microtransactions, no season pass, nothing. Now the asterisk. This is the middle chapter of 3. It does not end. It just stops. And it stops in a spot designed to make you shout at your television. Part 3 is called Final Fantasy VII Revelation, and it isn't out until spring of 2027. So you're signing up for a wait. And on price, let's be honest with each other, it lists at $70. It has been $20 in PlayStation sales, $20, and the twin pack, which bundles it with the first game, has dropped to around $32. If you are starting this series from scratch, that bundle is one of the best deals on the whole store. 100+ hours for $20. That isn't full money. That's daylight robbery, and you're the one committing it. Metaphor ReFantazio, October 11th, 2024. Made by the exact same people who made Persona. Same director, same artist, same composer. Except this time they built an entire fantasy world instead of a Japanese high school. And it is a monster. 80 hours if you rush it. Comfortably over 100 if you don't. Metacritic gave it a 94 and stuck a must-play badge on it. It won Game of the Year from IGN and from GameSpot and picked up more than 50 awards in total. The clever part is the archetype system. Your characters unlock job classes, knight, mage, thief, whatever. And you mix their abilities into combinations the game never bothered to tell you about. And there's a calendar. Every single day counts. Do you train, go dungeon crawling, sit and talk to a friend and unlock something new? You can't do everything, so you have to choose. That's what makes it stick. 2 honest complaints. 1. The dungeons repeat. Same corridors, different wallpaper. By hour 60, you'll notice. 2. On a no microtransactions list, I have to be fair. Atlas does sell little cosmetic packs. Costumes, old music, cosmetic only, nothing story related logged away. But it isn't zero. And the price? 70 on paper? It has hit 28 in sales. 100 hours for $28. Best value on this whole list, and it's not close. Clair Obscur Expedition 33, April 24, 2025. And this is my favorite story in gaming right now. A tiny French studio called Sandfall, around 30 people, made a turn-based RPG that walked into the Game Awards last December with 12 nominations and walked out with 9, including Game of the Year. 9 wins. That's a record. 30 people beat games built by thousands. The setup is horrible and brilliant. Once a year, a figure called the Paintress paints a number on a monolith. Everyone that age dies, and the number goes down every single year. So a group sets out to stop her before that number reaches them. It's bleak, it's gorgeous, and the music will give you actual chills. The combat's the twist though. It's turn-based, but when the enemy swings, you dodge and parry in real time. So you get to think and your hands stay busy. Nobody had properly cracked that before. Now the price, which is why it's this high on the list. $50? 50. While everyone else was demanding 70, a small studio said 50 is fair and then went and won Game of the Year with it. One thing to be clear on, because PlayStation people get told this constantly. Yes, it was free on Game Pass from day one. That's Xbox, it does nothing for you here. On PS5 you pay, and $50 is already the fairest number on this list. Astro Bot, September 6, 2024. And I want to start with the number nobody ever mentions, $60, not 70, 60. Sony put out the game that would go on to win Game of the Year and priced it $10 under their own standard. Nobody forced them, they just did it. So what is it? It's a platformer. You're a little robot. You run and jump through more than 80 levels stuffed with PlayStation history, rescuing bots dressed as Kratos, as Aloy, as characters from games older than most of you watching this. But the controller is the real star. Astro Bot is the best DualSense game ever made, and I'm not taking argument. You feel sand shifting under your feet, you feel rain on the pad, you squeeze the trigger and feel a spring actually compress. Every 10 minutes you'll go, how did they do that? Sony spent 4 years telling us that controller was special. Team Asobi are the only people who ever proved it. The catch? It's short, 11 hours to finish, maybe 15 if you hunt everything down. But then they added free levels, 10 speedrun stages in December 2024, 5 more challenge levels in June 2025, no charge, not once, $60 and 94 Game of the Year, free content afterwards. Sony got everything right here and then never made anything like it again. Elden Ring, February 25th, 2022. 4.5 years old and still the thing every other game gets measured against. Here's the value case in one sentence. It launched at $60. It is still $60 and it has sold over 30 million copies. From Software took the Dark Souls formula and blew it open into an enormous world with no arrows, no waypoints, nobody telling you where to go. You spot something strange on a distant hill, you walk to it and you find something the game never mentioned. That feeling is why people lost entire winters to this thing. 100 hours is normal, 200 is common. Somebody is starting a fresh character right now, today. No shop, no currency, no battle pass, no daily login nonsense. You buy the game, you own the game. But let me be straight with you, because zero monetization gets thrown around a lot. There is a paid expansion. Shadow of the Erdtree, June 2024, $40. It sold 10 million copies and it's massive. Bigger than most full games. Optional, but not free. And Night Rain, the co-op one, completely separate game. Don't get caught out at the store. And it is hard. Properly, genuinely hard. Some of you will quit within an hour and that's fine. $60. Unchanged for hundreds of hours. Everyone else stopped offering that deal. And number 1, Baldur's Gate 3, September 6, 2023 on PS5. This is what full price is supposed to buy you. Start with the score, 96 on Metacritic, tied with Elden Ring as the highest rated game on the entire console. Metacritic named those two the best games of the decade, not the year, the decade. Now what you actually get. Over 100 hours, 3 enormous chapters, and a world that reacts to nearly anything you try. You can talk to a squirrel, you can turn a guard into a sheep, you can shove a boss off a cliff and completely skip a fight the designer spent a year building, and the game just lets you and then remembers you did it. Split screen co-op as well. 2 people, 1 television, the entire campaign. Almost nobody offers that anymore. But here's why it's number 1 on this list. Larian's boss Sven Vinke said it plainly. There are no microtransactions in this game. They also refused to put it on subscription services because they made a big game and reckon a fair price for a big game is perfectly reasonable. And then they spent years patching in new content. Free for people who'd already paid. $70, no shop, no season pass, no apology. That's the standard. Everything else on this list is being measured against it. That's the list. And I'll leave you with the ugly bit. Sony shut down Bluepoint this year, the studio that built Demon's Souls. 70 people gone chasing live service money that nobody asked for. This is what your $70 should be funding instead. Finished games? No shop, no second payment. So buy those. Loudly, it's the only vote we get. Number 1 was Baldur's Gate 3. Tell me in the comments if I got that wrong.